Before we begin, thank you very much to Cole S. for joining the Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/TJOmega. I say it a lot, but it is genuinely true. You are keeping this channel afloat, and the help that you provide me really helps me continue. Like this month especially, ad rates are like half of what they were. I'm making half I'm making half of what I made last month doing all these videos, even daily. So, like, you guys are helping pay the bills essentially right now. And I thank you much because that means you are genuinely making sure I can keep doing this. And I love doing this for you guys. So, thank you so much for that support. All right, so I didn't mean to do another news roundup video so fast. I didn't want it to be like a weekly feature, but as soon as I made the last one, a whole bunch of stuff worth talking about dropped, and I went, ooh, should have waited a day. Should have waited one more day. But it only makes sense to do them on like Sunday or Mondays, so kind of stuck. So let's talk about them now. Oh, by the way, TFCon is coming up. Look, an actual Transformers convention. Good to know a good Transformers convention is happening. So, we're moving on to New York Toy Fair, speaking of conventions. Unfortunately, got canceled this year. Not a real surprise. The pandemic is a mess again. Again. Yeah, I'm for this because aside from like there's like a safety concern to consider here for the patrons and for the people coming out to the vendors as well, but honestly, I'm starting to question just how much we really need Toy Fair, New York Comic Con, and all those. I mean, it's a media circus now these days. Those big conventions, Toy Fair is still pretty much what it is. It's the industry leaders showing off what they're doing. We have so many online spaces where this is possible these days. I think Hasbro themselves with their Pulse preview and their Transformer Tuesdays and whatever buzzwords they want to throw onto it, what they're doing now to show off what they've got coming up, I think is so much more, aside from easier for them and safer for them these days, I think it's just as effective, if not more so, because fans online are getting clearer images of what's coming up much faster. And we're not sharing a whole bunch of blurry photos that people barely manage to get uploaded from the floor of the show. I genuinely wonder why we even need trade shows like this anymore. But hey, hopefully it comes back. I know a lot of people have fun there, and I know it's a pretty exciting thing to see like so many new things at once. So who knows? Who knows? Hopefully it's back. But also, do we really need it? Do we really need it? So a bunch of new listings came up for the next main Transformer line, Rise of the Beast, for the upcoming movie. It's a weird one. It's a weird update. I mean, for starters, we got names and codes attached to everything. So, Weaponizer 2-pack Primal and Prime and Arcee and Wheeljack at $16. I don't think that's the Weaponizer that we are used to. It sounds like a core class figure with maybe a transforming weapon of some kind. That's basically what it sounds like. I wouldn't be surprised if it took like an Arms Micron approach of a piece that has to be assembled together to make its little companion, and then you take it apart and use it for weaponry. So it kind of works. That's what I'm imagining right now. Of course, we haven't seen any of this. This is just listings. But, fun to speculate. Power Battlers / Beast Battle Masters. I'm not entirely sure what these are either. But it sounds as though we're getting something. At $7 each, it sounds like it's just akin to like the Dino Rider things that they did for Age of Extinction. It sounds like that kind of thing. Like just simple little gimmick toy. Power Combiners. They're all listed as 2-packs, but none of them actually say who they're with. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if this is similar to like my speculation for the Power Alliance figures or if this is something else. Yeah, again, it's only one character listed. Through all of this, you'll notice here we have Battle Chargers / Battle Changers, $11.99. Those seem like your one-step toys, your flip changers and all that. Masks. Beast Mode Bumblebee, which is interesting. Bumblebee with a beast mode of some sort coming up. Smash Changer Optimus Prime, you know, we've seen things like that. And Wave 2 masks and Smash Changer Rhinox. Okay, so you know, think about like Cybertron Adventures has those big autoformers. Yeah, that feels like that. What I'm getting through here, what is standing out to me is, where are my villains? Because I'm seeing Bumblebee, Rhinox, Mirage, I'm seeing Arcee and Wheeljack, Cheetor, Air Primal, Prime. I see one Scourge. That's it. I see one Scourge, and everyone else is an Autobot, which is bizarre to me. And remember, Scourge is a Terrorcon, a brand new breed of Decepticon in this movie. Supposedly, the movie was going to also feature Decepticons and Predacons, but we have not seen any listings like that for any kind of toys for those two factions. So now I'm wondering if plans change and it's literally just Autobots and Maximals versus Terracons, which would be weird. But hey, it's something to speculate on, isn't it? Yeah, we don't really have much to go off of until we actually get photos of it. Aside from, we have a beast named Crescent coming out, so it's not just rehashes. We got at least one original character coming. So yeah, I'm kind of just sitting and wondering, because this is interesting listings, and I really want to see what it's about. And apparently we don't have to wait long, because the big thing here was it's coming out this year, even though the movie was delayed. This happened with G.I. Joe Retaliation too, where the movie got delayed a year and the toys were out, and the toys died a death at retail. These days, they actually did pick up and gain quite a bit of value. However, back then, toy line lingered, shelf warmed, pegged warmed, did all the warming. So I'm kind of concerned about how this toy line is going to do. Though, if they can parlay that into having a more robust toy line in 2023 when the movie does come out, might work to their favor. Who knows? All right, so moving on. Let's go outside of Hasbro. We're going to talk Flame Toys, because Furai model revealed this piece of beauty. So I already like the Lio Convoy design. You know, I mean, it's very Optimus Prime in design style, because Japan wanted characters to look more like G1 Prime. But I do love the take here, like the shield, like turning the lion head into basically a shield, rather than that just massive thing that flipped out into missiles. Kind of embracing the knight aesthetic with the one arm cape going that he's at. You know, I love the look of that sword. Yeah, oh, he looks cool. He looks cool. The mane. I really dig the mane coming off of his neck, too. I'm not too big on the redesigns that they do, and I love that the shield can move, too. You can actually work it like an actual shield. I'm not terribly big on redesigning. I was kind of iffy on their redesigns for, like, their Seekers and the first Optimus Prime they did. But this works for me. This works really well for me. There's just such a cool look to him. Look at that. Look at that pose. He looks like he looks like a Final Fantasy villain there. He looks like the old 2D Final Fantasy. Like, this is like final boss levels of epic posing. I love this. I love this. Getting it. I'm too heavy on model kits right now, but it's probably somewhere down the line. Probably somewhere on my list to pick up. Looking super cool. I love this one. I really do love this one. We got our first look at Junkyard, the Wreck-Gar remold that adds to our Junkion lineup, and he's actually looking really, really cool. Like, I actually really dig the design they went for here. Heavily retooled. There's a lot of different parts on him that are shifted around. A lot of different things going on. Yeah, you can see the side by side. Mostly the same in the legs, but the upper torso is completely different. Shoulders are different. Forearms, head, obviously. Yeah, he strikes a very different look, which is great as, you know, extending our Junkions. I'm expecting one more. You know, if Junkyard is a retail release, I'm expecting at least one Selects Junkion. Just to fill out the ranks a little bit more. And there's plenty of designs to pick from. Yeah, bike mode looking good too. Looking about as jank as Wreck-Gar's does, but, you know, that's kind of to be expected with these. The bike mode looks a little small for Rekgar. He kind of looks like he's riding one of those quarter machines in front of the grocery store. Like it's a little bit tiny, but hey, it's going to work. It looks, at the very least, they're compatible, which is what I think we want. Yeah, looking forward to this guy. Looking forward to this guy. I mean, I'm looking forward to having. My personal preference would be to see if we get one more. If I could have a crew of like 3 Junkyons, then I would be down. But Rekgar and a Junkion doesn't seem right to me. Another leak. We got Kingdom Sandstorm, or Legacy Sandstorm, I guess it's going to be, or Select Sandstorm. I really have no idea at this point. We got a repaint of Scorponok. And not just a normal repaint. We actually do have the mutant head. And I love that they're doing this. Like, mutant heads back in the day didn't make sense to me, and it's a gimmick I never really used or enjoyed. But now they're paying dividends, because all these Kingdom repaints automatically have a new tooling option built in. So it's actually a really cool little thing to do. I love this so much that it bugs me that T-Rex didn't have the mutant head. He's the only one so far that didn't. You know, it sets him apart so well, and it's still true to the original toy, which is perfect. This is really cool. This is really, really cool. I'm loving this idea that we've just got this, like, we've got a lineup coming here of BotCon-based toys coming out, thanks to Kingdom. You know, because we know Inferno's on the way, so Antagony is rumored to also be happening. Obviously we've got a Transmil 2 Megatron coming out. Well, there I'm thinking Cryotech, but that was RID. But still, I kind of like this. I kind of like this. You know, I need a pack rat. I need a I need a whatever I can get out of those old Beast Wars, out of the Kingdom molds into those old Beast Wars repaints from BotCon. I think this is gonna be really, really cool. It's like just like a subsection of these toys. He's just looking cool, like just the idea. Like, okay, the purple legs are a little bit odd. I will admit that, but just the idea, like having a more realistic color tone to the Scorpion mode after, you know, brown and purple, or gray and purple. Yeah, I'm really digging this. I think he actually looks really, really good. So, hopefully, I mean, it's not going to be any better than Scorponok was. I know some people are iffy about that. I'm more forgiving to the toy, but hey, it's interesting. Speaking of interesting, and this is about the only photo I really need to show off, right? That's the only thing. So, in-hand shots of Dragstrip, and Dragstrip looks phenomenal. Like, Dragstrip looks absolutely awesome. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. I mean, it just looks like a cool Dragstrip. You know, very, very yellow, which is genuinely accurate. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this toy, if only to have individual Stunticons that look really, really nice. And then there's this. So, yeah, all we really need to think about this is, and this, I will, before we get into this, I will point out, his head has been hollowed out, which I don't like, but the fact that they use the hollowed out head as the seat for the chair, for the vehicle mode, I think is actually brilliant. So, credit to them. When I'm looking at this, I've seen so much discord going on over, like, oh, Menasor is just, yeah, so it's true, Menasor is just going to be like a skeleton that you can just connect cars onto. And part of me is thinking, fine. Like, why is that terrible? Why is that such a bad thing? For starters, we have the Combiner War one. I know it's not the best of that set. I know it's kind of off, but it functions the way you're actually wanting it to function. So there's really, you know, for that, like, I don't really see like much of an issue. You know, if you don't like this one, you have an option out there that is already available. You know, let the people who want a cartoon accurate Menasor have a cartoon accurate Menasor without ruining the fun for everybody. You know, it's just a toy, and it's a toy you have an option for. Just go get the other option if you don't like this one. Simple put, just let people have fun. Let people enjoy it. I'm actually kind of looking forward to how this comes across, because this confirms that the Commander class Motormaster is going to work the way we think it's going to. The trailer is just going to unfold into a giant robot that you plug cars onto to make Menasor. But also, the part of me makes me realize that's not the worst thing that could happen, because if you're buying Motormaster on his own, you know, like for me, like Motormaster for me is my favorite Stunticon. I really like the design on Motormaster. So to actually have a toy there that, you know, if I got that toy and it was like more skeletal and more like the vehicles would form like massive chunks of his part, and he just came with like 4 arms that plugged onto the main cars, and like I basically had either a robot with a bunch of huge chunks taken out of him, or I just have chunks of robot. One or the other would be my alternate option for that Menasor. The idea that it's just going to turn into a standard robot, honestly, it's kind of cool, because it means that if you buy Motormaster on his own, he just has a super mode. And that's not a bad thing. I think it actually makes that toy cooler than it would be just being like a trailer that could one day have 4 other cars plugged into it. That, I think, is the key here. I think this is going to be better overall in the long run. You know, especially if you're just being picky and choosy about your Stunticons. Oh, I just want, you know, Dragstrip and Wild Rider, or I just want Motormaster, and you're not interested in the set. Good. It looks like this set's going to be great for everyone in that sense. So again, basically just my excuse to just say, let's just let people have their fun. Don't start, you know, don't start wars over how this looks or if this is lazy from Hasbro or not. Just let people enjoy it. Just let people have fun. So we have new shots of the upcoming Legacy Arcee, which we know is obviously a pre-tool for Road Rocket. We know that. And it does very much fit into the profile of a character who was thought of like, who else can we do from the mold we actually want to do? So we have Arcee. She is bulkier in some parts, smaller in others, which is interesting. Maybe not good, but interesting. I don't think she looks bad. Considering what she is and what her design is meant to be someday, I think this is about as good as we could probably get out of it. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. Maybe it's not... I might want the chest details to be closer to how she looked in the show, but I don't mind a bulkier Arcee. I've been on this before, where I really don't mind Arcee being bulkier for the sake of having a good toy, because whether it's Prime or G1, Arcee's always had a problem of she just doesn't have enough bulk to make a working toy. So we end up things with like Earthrise Arcee, you know, and all the chaos that brought. So let her be a little bit bulky. If it helps the toy be a good toy, let her be a little bit bulky. That's not really an issue. You know, you're talking to someone whose favorite modern Arcee is the Titan's Return, which ironically I don't own anymore, and I wish I did, because I think it fixes the Arcee problem. But for this, for now, I think this looks really good. I think this looks, you know, what it needs to be. Where are those big... I just realized that I don't see where those big panels went. Do I have a shot of how she looks from behind? Okay, there they are. Okay, it just forms up the backpack a little bit better. I actually think the black works to kind of hide the fact that she's got a big backpack of motorcycle parts. But yeah, like I said, I think this looks fine. I don't... You know, maybe it could be better, but like, especially as like a more... As a Prime Arcee that's trying really hard to fit in with the current toy line, I think this looks fine. Outside of the fact that I just noticed she's going to have a translucent ball joint for her head. No. Alright, we have another shot of... We have another in hand, and this one is Kickback. Kickback, admittedly, looks a little bit dull, I will admit. Yeah, his beast mode is exactly what you'd expect it to be. If you're looking for like straight up accurate G1 Kickback, little bug legs fold out from the back of his legs, his arms split, and his head turns around and he lays down. I do wish there was a little bit more to it than that. But then again, I also wish the wings were chrome so they look like big metal blades, because I think that's the coolest part of him. No, I think for the most part, he looks fine. He does what he's supposed to do. Again, we have options if you want a more complex kickback. If not the Titan's Return version that you see there, or I can't remember if it was Titan's Return or Power of the Primes that came out. I've lost track of Insecticons at this point. But I do think it looks a lot better than that one does. And if you really want some other option for your kickback, go get the Fall of Cybertron one. That's one of my favorite Transformer designs of all time. If you want different looking kickback, that's the one. I think what's interesting to me about this particular kickback is it's using 3 different shades of translucent plastic. And that's interesting to me because I always assume the reason Hasbro does what they do with translucent plastic because it's easier to throw a whole bunch of parts onto one mold and just paint them over than it is to make individual molds just for the translucent pieces. But we've got 3 different colors of it going on here, so obviously they're willing to do that. They're willing to do it to great lengths, apparently. Which tells me that we could have translucent plastic as windshields and all that. They just need to be willing to do exactly what they're doing with kickback here. Just make it separate pieces that don't hold stress. That's it. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So maybe this is the beginning. Maybe this is them figuring out exactly how to actually do translucent plastic without. I know we just saw Arcee and they screwed it up. But here, let me hope. Let me have hope, please. I think it looks good. He looks simple, but he looks good. And to wrap it up, we got shots of the second of the Raiden set from MPG Getsuei, and I'm a little bit cautious about the train bots at this point. Now, he looks fine. He looks good. He's using some panels to get away with some of his parts, but hey, that's fine for what we got. It's a really dismal looking town. Like that town's going through an apocalypse of some kind down there. Also, like, I'm looking at explosion behind him, and then the sun is like on the bottom left somehow, but I can't see the sun past the tree, so I have no idea what's going on here. Or they just let a lamp shine through on accident. One or the other. It looks cool. I love how dramatic they're being with the promo shots of these. Flaming industrial area, moonlit night. Yeah, he looks fine. He's got some kibble going on, but he looks fine. Train mode looks really, really good. Classic old school train. My concern here is going to be Raiden. Not only because of the cost, this thing is going to be outrageously expensive, but also I'm really wondering how they're going to keep this toy stable. Because, look, I can see how, like, small the parts are getting. Where, like, you can see how it's kind of thinning as it goes down. I'm kind of wondering just how they're going to manage to hold up all of this under something that can transform too. Combiner Wars toys had the advantage of being relatively simple in construction, so they could hold up the mass of the figures above them. This doesn't really have the same advantage, especially the way they're designed with the trains actually becoming the feet, which means there has to be a hinge point in there as well that also has to hold up all this weight. So the tolerances on this are going to have to be really tight. We need ratchet joints that are really solid and well made. And it's going to be heavy. It's going to be really heavy, with such complex, dense figures. So that's where my concern here is. I really do wish they'd kind of just, like, even if it's just gray proto, I kind of wish they had cut to the chase and just show what Raiden is going to look like all together, because I think that would incentivize people to actually spend the money now on the individual parts, because right now, you're being asked to spend the outrageous price these things are selling for based on, just trust us, it's going to be good. Well, you did Masterpiece Hound, so I can't really have total trust in what you're getting at right now. Masterpiece is a line that has kind of fallen over the years. I've seen a lot more QC issues out of that toy line than I used to. I'm hesitant to trust this, because it means all 6 have to come out good, all 6 have to be solid, and then the final product has to look good, so I know that all this huge amount of money is worth it. I'm not sure if they've done that just yet, and I wish they'd just show the rest so we can actually see for ourselves. So that is my concern with them, but otherwise, like, yeah, if you're just in it individually, these look fine so far. I just wish they weren't so expensive. And that does bring me to the end of this recap. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to my ramblings once again, and I will see you for tomorrow's ramblings, hopefully. So, I'll see you then. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.